Use a boning knife. I've got a brisket here that's been in here for about an hour and a half. We can grab it with a paper towel. I've got that membrane. Bend it end to end and then it breaks off, and that's where you know that this is like trash or stock. And then I'm gonna actually do like a kind of a giant bias cut with this. You can see we'll still penetrate the top of the salmon with that honey glaze. So then the smoky environment will just add a nice smoke amount to the chicken. Hey everybody, Darin Leonardson here, President and CEO of Transform Culinary Solutions. Today, I'm excited because we're gonna do barbecue. I'm introducing my new brand, Sasquatch Smokers, with my buddy Matt Dyke. We go all around the country and compete in barbecue competitions. We've actually got some awards, so I'm really excited to kind of show some of my techniques, and we're gonna walk through a ton of stuff today, okay? So first thing, we're in Texas, and we're gonna do brisket. So I've got a beef brisket here, and it has all the fat and everything on it. I'm gonna just really quickly show you what I do. So first thing is I get a big pan like this. Then use a boning knife. That's one of my favorite knives because you can really trim this really well. And you're gonna pull this out. Then this part, all that blood and everything that's with it, that goes in the garbage, okay? So you don't need that. Then you're gonna flip this, and what you wanna do is take off as much of this fat as you can, because you don't want the fat on your brisket when you're putting your seasoning on it, because what'll happen is the seasoning will just stick to fat, and then really you're missing out on that delicious flavor of the seasoning getting into your product. So we're gonna trim some of this fat, and know that I don't throw the fat away. And now we're outside, so you're gonna see flies and everything, and that's all good. That means you got some good meat going on. So you can see I'm trimming away as much of this fat if I can. If I get a little bit of the meat with it, not a big deal. I'm more wanting to make sure I get down to that meat, because that's where that seasoning is really gonna stick to it. Okay, then I'll get this last little bit right here. I'm not that particular about how I do this. I more just want to get as much of the fat as I can, but we're gonna render that fat and make some delicious rendered beef fat from it that I think is just better than butter, honestly. So here we go. I basically have it trimmed. There's one more big chunk of fat here. I'm gonna take that off. And then one more right here. You can see that big fat chunk. So I'm gonna dive in, cut that off. Okay, so there's all my fat. Now we're gonna do our seasoning. So you could do it in a separate container, but I like to just do it right from the container that I'm doing it. Making a really good barbecue is pretty easy. It has chili pepper, so chili powder, chili pepper, onion powder. Notice I'm not measuring, but I want to really coat these briskets really well. Ground pepper and garlic. Okay, so then I'm gonna put another glove on. And I love to do it in a pan like this because it's not gonna make a mess. That's the other part that's really easy. And then all the product stays right here. We might wanna season our other products a little bit differently. So then with your hand, stir it around, right? Then take your brisket, push it into it, right? And you get it coated. Then grab with your other hand, stir it around, just like that. Make sure that all sides of the brisket are really, really heavily seasoned. So now our brisket's seasoned. Next thing is I'm gonna add these hooks, because we're gonna actually hang it in our pit smoker over here. So this is a pit barrel smoker. I've actually already got some briskets in there going. So I'll show you real quick. Let me see if I can pull this one out. Here, you can see I've got a brisket here that's been in here for about an hour and a half, but I want you to see this is that same brisket that we're about to put in here with the seasoning, and you can see the smoke is down on the bottom. and there's charcoal and a little bit of wood for some flavor. So this sucker's gonna go for a good 12 hours in there. Now to put the new one in, I'm gonna take these hooks, so you need 2 of them, and I'm gonna put them directly into the thickest part of the brisket. Just like that. And then we're gonna hang this on the other side. And I already have a bunch of ribs in here too that we're gonna talk about in a little bit. Now we've got 2 briskets in here. So there's a lot of meat in here and that's great. Okay, so we're gonna cover that up. And now we're gonna do our pork butt. So with the pork butt, first of all, I like a little bit more paprika chili powder in here for the pork butt because I think it can take on more of that flavor. All right, so now we're doing a pork shoulder butt, but the pork butt can take a little bit of sugar. I love when it caramelizes on the outside of the pork butt. It tastes so good. So I love to use like a turbinado sugar. I mean, you could use brown sugar, but I think that the brown sugar burns faster. So we're gonna put some turbinado sugar in there. And then we're gonna put a little more of the black pepper in there and a little garlic. Okay, and then same thing, I'm just gonna use that same pan to throw my pork butt directly into this. And now, stir it around a little bit. Get all the sides coated, some of the inside of the pork as well. I mean, these flies are loving this. In Texas, holy cow, there's so many flies. So like doing this outside, I knew it was a risk, but you know what? We're gonna barbecue everything. It's gonna taste delicious. So now we're really coated. Okay, that is beautiful. That's what we want right there. Nice and coated, like it's a jacket almost. Then I'm gonna take my little skewer here, the hook, and I'm gonna hook it on the thickest part of the meat. Shake a little bit of excess, and then that sucker's going over here. And in it goes, just like that. And then you can see we've got one ready right here that's been in here a couple hours, so you can see that caramelization is starting to happen. That's really nice. And that's gonna take about, I would say about 7 hours. And really we wanna bring the brisket and the pork butt to about 203 degrees. And then we're gonna let it sit and rest in a cooler for about 4 hours before we pull it apart. And then it's like butter when you pull it apart. It's amazing. That's what we want. I can't wait. All right, next, we got our St. Louis rib. And this is a competition style rib. I'm gonna show you real quick how to do that. Okay, so now we got the St. Louis ribs, and this is what barbecue competition ribs are chosen. So most people choose these over the baby backs because they're consistent. So I bought these at HEB. You could buy them really anywhere. Costco's good, Sam's Club's good. So we still have our same pan there, which is great. I'm gonna pull out my ribs. This whole part right here, you don't even need that. Now we're not gonna throw it away. So we're just gonna trim that off because that isn't, the judge really isn't gonna look at that, but that's gonna make great flavor. Then we're gonna clean up the bone a little bit, and you gotta use a sharp knife. So we wanna square it off. And right here, get that part right there. And then turn it this way, square it off here, cut through. And then the membrane, so this part here, you're gonna cut off. So just cut this. But I like to save it because that'll be a little snack later. Then there's a membrane right here, and to get under it, go under one bone here like this, just along the bone line. And then do another one here. And then what we need to do is get it to where we can grab it with a paper towel. So right here, I've got that membrane. I'm gonna grab it with this paper towel. And sometimes it's a little finicky, like this one happens to be, like the bone kind of broke. Okay, let's try this. Man, sometimes they're like, usually they'll pull right off, but this one's not. So that's okay. Sometimes they're really bad, and that's okay. We're not in a competition. We're just gonna make good ribs. So now I'm going in here with that same rub. Wow, look at the flies. This is crazy. They love the meat. Okay. Now we're gonna take our meat skewer, through it, into the little smoker, down, and then you can see right here I've got a rib already going. That's about 2 hours in, looking good. Probably needs another 3-4 hours. I actually take like all this seasoning that's in here and the fat, and then I'm gonna take it and bring it right over here to our green egg. And I've got this thing smoking, and then I'm gonna put it right up on the top here, and we're just gonna let that start to render down, and it's gonna make the most delicious fat flavored seasoning that we use to baste a lot of our stuff. So I can't wait for that. Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. It's hot. You can see my sweat. I'm in Texas. It's pushing 95 today. We're here to barbecue outside and have fun. So we're gonna do some vegetables, but we got so much stuff going on. We got the Blackstone on, we got the egg cooking stuff, we got the Weber cooking stuff here in a second, and we got the pits cooking a bunch of brisket and pork butt and ribs. Now we're time for vegetables. Okay, so first thing I like to do is with asparagus, you know, I think I showed you in one video to know where to cut asparagus. You bend it end to end, and then it breaks off, and that's where you know that this is like trash or stock, and this is the edible part. So this is an easy one, right? We're just gonna cut right there. So there's our asparagus. Then to do our zucchini, I like to just literally leave it whole. So we're just gonna cut it, because it's going on the grill. So we're just gonna cut those in half, lengthwise like that. And then a little trick that I like to do with the asparagus, so I'll take this is fresh rosemary from the garden outside. It does so well here in Texas. So take the rubber band from the asparagus, wrap it a couple times around, right? Now you got a wonderful mop. Here's a little olive oil with canola oil. We're gonna add some garlic to that here in a second. But first, let's finish these veggies. So these are Japanese eggplants, actually. So take the sticker off, right? Sticker off. All right, so this part, I'm gonna cut that part off. And then I'm gonna actually do like a kind of a giant bias cut with this. Because really, I'm trying to get surface area on that Blackstone, so we'll be searing those just down like that. Okay, so that's there. Then let's do peppers. So we'll make this really simple. We'll just cut off the top, just like that. Then we're gonna do 3 strips of the peppers. And maybe in some of the other videos I talk about color. It's like really important to get your primary food colors on the plate when you're doing it. So when you do that, like just peel that off. You can still sear that part. You wanna use as much as you can. So, all right, so pull off the seeds on the yellow pepper. 3 cuts here. But primary food colors are yellow, green, and red. Blue, but there's nothing edible in nature that's blue, so we're not gonna have it there. Let's do an orange. Orange is like another version of yellow, just a different hue, different color, which is great. So we're gonna put that on. So we got that. Jalapenos, we're gonna make some amazing salsa, so we're gonna throw that on as well. And let's do just a couple, because we'll reserve that. Then the red onion. So in half, the top and the bottom. Just do a little score right on it so that you can peel off that first layer. I love like Blackstone grilled onions are so delicious. They get so sweet and then caramelized. And so then I'm gonna cut them into about a 1/2 inch cuts. And I see that my Blackstone is starting to heat up really nice, which is great. Then the cauliflower, I'm actually gonna cut this and pop that part out right there. Then I'm gonna keep the cauliflower into whole little wedges like this. Okay, so we're just gonna put those directly on. Now, we gotta add the garlic here. So if you've ever not done a garlic, this is a head of garlic. And you're gonna push, right? And then it'll pop open, just like that. Oh, these are nice and big ones. Look at these things. So this is actually a Mexican style garlic. They're at H-E-B. I love them now because of how huge they are. As soon as I started doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like look at this. There's only like, it looks like elephant garlic. It's just incredible. So take the top off, give it a whack. Look how big that garlic is. Oh my gosh. Okay, just even one of those is enough for our rosemary. So then chop this. Okay. Just like that. I just want to get some flavor in here. Chefs like cooking with kosher salt. If you don't have one of these, it's called a salt pig. It's amazing because you just pour your salt in, reach your fingers in and grab it. It's just unbelievable and it's fun on your counter too. Okay, so then we're gonna mix this around and we've got our wonderful little mop that we're gonna do for the veggies. And then we're gonna go over here and get searing. So I'm gonna lift this up. I'm gonna bring my veggies over. So then to start, we're just gonna drizzle all that flavorful oil on the grill. All right, that's what we want. Then I will start with the biggest things first. So we'll put these beautiful cauliflower down. Now I'm gonna turn the heat down to like medium low because I don't want to burn everything, but I want some good caramelization. Then we'll put the onions down. Like why not build like a rainbow like at the same time, because it's like fun to do and colorful. So let's do our eggplant right here. So like if you normally like roast veggies or saute, I'm telling you, when you do this on the grill, it is incredible. Then we've got our zucchini. I'd like to do it flesh side down, right? So you get a nice caramelization. Okay. We'll put the jalapenos right over here. Then let's take our peppers. Let's sprinkle those, some there, some here. Okay, then we'll do our asparagus lined out right here. Okay, then take our baste and really just baste all those veggies. And now we got all that flavor of the rosemary, that Pop Secret seasoning, the garlic. Man, look at those flavors developing. That's exactly what you want. This is gonna be good. Okay, so then while that's searing, we're gonna move on to our salmon. We're gonna go back over here. So we got some salmon here. We're gonna cut that on here. It's got skin on salmon. I like to keep the skin on when I'm doing a smoke or barbecue so it stays together. Then let's make this kind of pretty and then season it with salt, right? Okay, then I'm gonna take some honey. Like anything sweet with salmon is just delicious, especially with smoke. So I'm putting honey just liberally all over that. Then I'm gonna take some citrus and I'm just gonna slice a few slices. These flies are like, just do whatever you need to do. It's fine, oh my gosh, this is so good. So we're gonna take some of the slices so that it starts to develop flavor, squeeze some of that right here. Okay, see, so there's our little fat area. Here you can see that we've got some nice coals developing right here. And that's great. I want that salmon skin to be right there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to keep it on the foil here. because mainly there's like a whole fire there, and I want it to caramelize that skin and add a nice seasonal flavor or seasoning flavor with the top of it. So it's gonna get smoky. All right, so I put the foil down because there's a flaming fire right there, and if I didn't do that, the skin would burn. I want caramelization, but I don't want it to be burned. And then the smoke, you can see, will still penetrate the top of the salmon with that honey glaze. Is gonna be just absolutely delicious. So we got a fire going. We wanna shut this and just crack it and not have too much air blowing through there. We wanna see like a nice little stream of white smoke kind of coming out. Then we know it's great. And this is probably gonna be about 20 minutes in that salmon. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. Okay, so let's come over here to the veggies real quick. So let's see what we got. I'm starting to see some caramelization with these onions, right? So if you go right in here, look at that. That's beautiful. That's what we want right there. I'm gonna leave the cauliflower there a little longer because it's thicker. Notice, oh, that's perfect, right? That's what we want. A little caramelization. So one thing that I learned from Jamie Oliver, he's the Naked Chef. He would season his vegetables after they would cook on the grill, and the main reason is because you would get flare-ups, and you know, no one wants to taste the flame. Man, I'm sweating here in Texas, but that means we're having fun barbecuing. But when you're doing a griddle like this, it doesn't matter, so you can season it, and it's just absolutely delicious. Now let's take a peek at our cauliflower. See, oh, look at that. That's beautiful, right? That's what we want right there, okay? Then the asparagus, just kind of stir it around. And then let's see, oh, those are gorgeous. Those are gorgeous. Just want to flip those. And then turn these. Right, and then just spin this. And you're getting some caramelization. So probably another altogether 10 minutes and these will be good, but we're gonna go right into our chicken now because we're gonna make a section for the chicken on this. So this is good. We're gonna do some chicken wings and chicken breasts. Okay, so one thing I like to do to make it easy, whenever I'm doing chicken, I do it in a bag. His are low sodium, which which is great, but I'm gonna add a little seasoning to it. And then I want some nice red color, so I'm gonna put some chili powder in there. And then I also like a little intense garlic powder on my chicken. So I'm gonna put some garlic powder in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this chicken first. I'm gonna put it in the bag. Just like that. Then open it up, and then we're gonna do our wings. So I got wings and drumettes. So why not? I like to do things efficiently too. So like if I can do marinating 3 things at the same time or 2 things, then do it, you know? Why waste steps? Why waste bags? Really simplify what you're doing. We got one more. Then, right? And then, shake and bake. You young kids don't even know what shake and bake is. Basically, it was this box of seasoning and you just put your product in and you shake it, and it was called shake and bake. People would say, shake and bake, baby. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so we got it shaked. And now look at the seasoning on that chicken. Like, that's incredible, right? It's already coated. That's perfect. Okay, so now let's put the chicken on the Weber. So over here, do a quick peek of that. Look at all that brisket, pork butt, ribs. Amazing. And then our Weber's rocking and rolling. Now notice this is a vortex. It's got the charcoal in the center, so it's really really intense heat. And then I've got wood there that's slightly smoking, so it's gonna add a nice little smoky element. So this right here is called indirect heat, because now the product is not gonna burn my chicken in that smoky environment. So then the smoky environment will just add a nice smoke amount to the chicken, which is great without burning it. So I'm gonna put my chicken with that fat breast that way. We got one more. I think there was just 3, right? Yeah. So then, now I'm gonna put the lid back on, and that's our nice Weber smoked chicken. Let's see how our salmon's doing. Oh, see how that honey glaze is doing a beautiful thing. So here's a little trick. Back here with our little mop, right? I'm gonna pick up that honey, put it in here, and now I'm gonna brush the salmon with it. Right, and it's getting some smokiness to it. You can see it, that looks good. Obviously this beef fat will take a long time to render down, and that's okay. Okay, now we got to pull off the veggies, and then we're gonna put some wings on here, but we can do it all together. So we're gonna make a little space for the wings. So I'm gonna move the onions over. I'm gonna move this over. These are just about there. So we're putting it here. Bring the peppers over. Pull the asparagus over. It's about efficiency, right? And doesn't that just look pretty? Those are beautiful. And chilled veggies are just incredible for massive amounts of, eating and entrees with your family. Now, I'm gonna take some of this garlic, all that's left with some of that honey and that flavor. I want that all mixed here, and I want to turn my heat up because I really want these wings to really sear and get some caramelization. Then, this is the beautiful part. This is how efficient this is. Just grab the bottom of the bag and dump. Oh, we have another breast. I guess there was 4. Right? Get your chicken all spread out. Obviously, we got to put that one in the vortex. And this is naturally going to start to render down. I got the heat turned up. So let's put this nice fatty right over here. And let's just do this. Let's put it right up on top and show how that vortex gets a nice caramelization. It gets up to like 700 degrees right there. It's crazy. So obviously we're cooking a ton of stuff. You got to have your backup propane ready, because you never know when it's going to go out. And usually it's going to go out when you're cooking. So have a backup. So then to take it off, there's a closed and an open. So we want to make sure it's closed. Then release it, unscrew it. Then the new one goes on. This is kind of nice. The Blackstone makes it really easy. Then screw it on first, real tight. And then open it. There we go. Now it's gonna start searing. Now let's pull off our veggies. Look at those. Delicious veggies. And that cauliflower is like perfect. So we're piling that up. So right here. And we got our zucchini. And just imagine, like, there's so much you can do with this. For more, you can make frittatas with it. You can make, chop this up and add it to vegetable pasta. You could make a ratatouille with this, right? Chop it up. So actually these bell peppers could go a little bit longer, and that's actually perfect because we're gonna make this amazing salsa on top of it as a little bonus that we're doing here today. So I'm gonna take some of this onion because I wanna get some really good caramelization from the onion. So we'll pull off a little onion. It's hot. Okay, we need the onion in our salsa. One of the best salsas I ever had was a fire roasted one or a seared. So just take your tomatoes, literally just throw them on, stem and all. And your garlic in the husk, throw that on. More jalapenos, and then these are ancho chilies. Those are gonna puff up. And then let's take this, we don't wanna waste anything. Let's cut these oranges and see how our salmon is doing. And if it's burning, this will prevent the burn on the salmon. So what I'm gonna do though, rather than squeezing right on, we're gonna go back in here because there's flavor, right? There's garlic, There's honey, there's citrus. And now we can kind of base that top of it, get some of that honey on the sides. Now, how do you know when the salmon is done? So actually, if you come over here, you can see that little white, you see the white coming up right there? That's when you know salmon is pretty much done. So even just here, I can tell it's like still a little bit rare there, but we're gonna pull this off in literally about 2 minutes, and it's gonna be just beautiful and perfect. Okay, and it's got a nice smoke. And then we're gonna cover this to get the chicken going. Let's turn this chicken real quick so you can see, look at that flame. And that, look at that. That's what look how hot that gets right there versus that, right? But we're getting nice smoke. So now I'm gonna move that right there. But I kind of like that, right? So I'm gonna put, why not put those right there and get some caramelization like the other one. But we gotta watch it because it's so hot. And then this will turn the flame off and all you're gonna get is some caramelization. But then why not brush it, you know? Like there's still juices in there. That's just gonna add flavor. And then a little pro tip, well, throw the rosemary in there, but take the rubber band off. We have no waste. I want it right there with the fire. That rosemary is gonna add an amazing smoke all around the chicken. It's gonna be just beautiful. Okay, everything's good. We're gonna have a little coffee break and then we'll come back and check our chicken. And then at the end, we'll make this delicious salsa. Pull that stem out. Throw it out there. And let's see if we're getting a little sear on the chicken. Oh yeah, good sear on the chicken. Start to rendering its fat. Oh, my glasses are dead. Doesn't that smell good? The chicken. Whew. Okay, let me put my glasses. They're dead. Now let's pull out the salmon. That glaze. Push that back. I like to fold this over. Obviously there's juices in there that I don't necessarily want to go out, so I'm gonna scooch underneath on this top part right here. Pull that out. Let's put this back forward. Close it. Now get a nice close up of that. And watch this when I pull that. Look at that right there. Look at that caramelized piece right there. This is the kings are, so chefs eat better than kings. I always say it. And this is a prime example right here. Literally, the chef is not giving the king this piece. This is that fatty part with the caramelization. And I'm literally just eating it right now. It's like butter. Oh my, I mean, you have to try this. This is the part like that I said, chefs eat like kings. We eat better than kings. So like just, well, it's hot, so, but give him your reaction. Cause I make a lot of salmon. So it's got lemon, herbs, honey. Because you rated one pretty high the other day, so for him to say that now with that caramelized side like that.
This type of like caramelization that you do is my favorite.
Yeah, and that was the trick that we did when we were smoking and grilling it, right? Just incredible. You could technically eat that skin too. That's the part that's like this right here. Like that's absolutely delicious. You can eat that skin. It's like butter. Okay, let's go do the chicken. A little bit burned on the top, but that's okay. That's the skin. And I actually will even still just eat that deliciousness. Maybe that one's a little burned, but that's okay. So Now you can see why you don't put it directly over the vortex, but you're getting a great caramelization here. Now I am gonna put the rosemary right there because I want that smoke to just get all over this delicious chicken. Look at that, that's so good looking. I love it when there's so much going on. And now let's check out because this is the one we put in, right? Is this the, oh, this is the pork butt, right? So it's starting to, like the spice is starting to stick to it, you know? But this one's only like a half hour in. This one, so when it falls, not a big deal. You can actually cook on coals. Oh, I just remembered I had some steaks. I forgot about that. Let's cover that back up. Well, we were gonna show what the other one looks like. So you can see that one, okay, it's starting to get caramelization, some color. Now it still needs a good 4 hours probably. And those briskets need a lot of time. Now let's look at that smoke from the rosemary. Like, you can smell it, right?
Oh yeah.
That is vortex right there. This is the beauty of indirect, right? Because then I'm not gonna burn the chicken anymore. And now I can cover it. I can even turn this down so there's only a little bit of air coming in it. Okay, we're gonna get some steaks real quick. Let's check the chicken. And our salsa ingredients. That's what you want, the ancho chilies to poof up like that.
Dude, they really do. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
This makes the most incredible salsa because what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some fresh cilantro. That lime will be like delicious and warm, and we're gonna make really good salsa. Okay, so let's stir this. Now notice maybe it's getting a little bit caramelized there. That's because there's a little bit of that turbinado sugar, but it is delicious like this when you get that caramelization on the chicken with the crunch. So now we're gonna turn that actually way down to low. And these are probably maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes out, and those will be done. And then we'll turn this down too. And I'm gonna get steaks, I'll be right back. So this is actually grass-fed steak from Texas, a Texas ranch actually. So we got a T-bone and we got sirloin steaks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just salt and pepper on these suckers, like kosher salt, right? Fresh ground pepper, just like that, pretty heavy on it. And we're gonna flip it. I mean, I love a good T-bone. And top sirloin is great too. Top sirloin actually has one of the best flavors of steaks. It's just not the most tender, so it's one of the reasons people don't choose it. T-bone obviously is one of the best because it has the tenderloin and the sirloin, or other known as the New York steak. So look at that amount of salt that we've got on. Then we're gonna bring it over here. And we've got our hot coals right down here. So let's put first this T-bone, and I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm actually gonna sear that fat cap, and I'm gonna sear that sirloin right next to it, and so that it holds it in place. Because I wanna sear, look at how thick that fat is, and that's gonna be delicious. Then I'm gonna take the other, I'm gonna put it right here, and it'll just kind of hold it in place just to sear that fat cap. And now we're gonna cover it, let the smoke brew. And then I think we're ready to pull off the chicken, so we're gonna pull off this chicken. Oh yeah. Then what I'm gonna do is we're gonna cover this with foil. It'll continue to cook and tenderize it a little bit. But before that, we're gonna take our lime off, our little garlics, because those are not going to go in the blender like that. And then we're going to take the top off for the jalapeno. We don't want that. Only a chef can do this where it's that hot. And then we're going to pull this off for the seeds. But I want the seeds in there because it makes it spicy. Pull that, one more top of the jalapeno. We've got a couple more over here. Okay. Then, we got our blender. In the blender, all this. It makes the most delicious roasted salsa, and really it's the secret. So once you have those anchos in there and all these salsa flavorings, whew, so good. So we're gonna blend this in there. Just kind of squish it down. Okay. Oh, we got one more tomato. So that's that. And then let's check out, let's turn this off. Okay, so that flipped, which is good. Got some caramelization. Now I'm gonna put it here. Now what I'm doing is just getting some smoke to this, and then we're gonna move it to the vortex. That's really what I was trying to do here. So over here, we're gonna move this. This is what we wanted right here. So now, we're gonna put that fatty T-bone right there. And then we're gonna put the top sirloins right over here. And what's beauty, why did I change it, is there's more smoke flavor over here in the green egg, and now there's an intense heat from the vortex. And you want to cook very, very high heat with steaks. And I'm checking the chicken temperature here, which is interesting, a little trick. So if you push here, that's rare. Put your pointer and your thumb, medium rare. Medium with the middle, with the ring finger, that's medium well and well. And when it feels like that, you know, for chicken, you want it to feel like that. Well, you want it well done, and then you're gonna pull it off and let it rest. Now for the steaks, I'm gonna pull those off at probably medium rare and let them rest. Okay, so let that just kind of cook like that, and we'll cover it, and then we'll open this up. It probably will only take a few minutes, actually. And then let's turn this down because we got the meat with the fat, and then let's bring this in the kitchen real quick. So we're gonna blend this, but we need to go pick real quick some fresh cilantro from the garden. We're just gonna drizzle with a little honey. Now we get that crunch and the sweetness. That's what we want. Okay. That smells good. Then to blend this, okay, so I put some kosher salt in here. Now, let's go get some fresh cilantro in the garden. So come out, follow me real quick. Okay, that's off. That's the meat. We've got the steaks. Let's just see. See, we're starting to get some caramelization there on the outside of that, which is great. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Those will just be almost there. From the garden. Wow, look at this. Stuff's doing so good now. Wow. Right, it's been a while since you've seen it. I had some tomatoes die over there. I gotta figure out what the heck's going on. But we got, look at all that basil now. Dill, mint, Thai basil. So this is all cilantro. So we're gonna get some fresh cilantro. There's parsley. The more you snip, the more it grows. That's the beauty of it. So even though I'm going like that, it's gonna grow in like 2 places. That doubled in size the last time I trimmed it. Okay, now, fresh cilantro, right? So, I don't want the giant stems in it, but I want all that flavor. Now it looks like a little bit different than cilantro that people are used to because it's actually going to seed, and that's okay. There's still a lot of flavor, and when it goes to seed, it's called coriander, so it changes a little bit of the flavor, but there's still that nice light cilantro kind of essence to it. Okay, then remember I had my garlic over here and my lime. So I'm gonna take my knife I'm gonna cut the lime, right? So it's a nice hot lime, and then this, watch the garlic just push right out. Like, look at that, that's amazing looking. Let's see, you can smell it, right? That garlic.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like roasted garlic now. Okay, and I think there was one more here. I don't know where I put it, but all right. Then the lime, right? So the hot lime, squeeze that in. So we're gonna get some fresh lime in there too. This is one of those limes that's like hard to squeeze, but you know what? Put lime in there, and then let's squeeze some lime over this chicken with that honey. While we're at it, let's try one of these. Oh my gosh. We're gonna add a little olive oil. He's about to. So a little olive oil in there. And then it's ready to blend. That's it, right there. And now, let's try a chip. We'll pack you out with some of this too. You'll be fed good. All right, then it's gonna be spicy.
Have a good kick.
Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah. There's the top sirloins. Yeah, it's got a nice smoke on it. That's still nice. That's like medium rare right there, and that's what we want. And then these, just about there. Okay,
Perfect.
there's our steak. We'll let that rest.
Can you smell it down the street? Come in? Yeah. I actually don't know these people. You just smell it. Yeah. When you cook outside, that's the rich you do.
I'll try this. Well, that's a solid medium rare right there.
Yeah, it might even be. This is like well, and this is like medium rare. We're gonna pull off the tenderloin.
Oh my gosh, that was tender. You didn't even flinch. The knife is going through that.
We're gonna pull off this. This will be the tender one. Then this is the sirloin. We'll cut. So that's like a medium well. Right out.
That literally looks like a walnut.
Yeah, so pull. I would even leave that part on. I'll pull up that little burn part. Then
Perfect.
yeah, oh, look, it's like flinging juice at people.
Oh, it's bone
Mm-hmm. That way it stays like juicy out there on the grill. So this has that lemon herb pops. A little Salt. You always want to salt at the end after you slice it. All right, try. Oh, wow. Okay, we gotta add some more smoke in there. This is a little homemade barbecue sauce. It's got some date syrup, ketchup, apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna seal that up. I'm gonna put it on top of here so it doesn't overcook and still add some smokiness. Yeah. Like this on a nice brisket sandwich. It'd be so good. Wow. You can hear how juicy that is. So here. Juicy. You can see, and you can just take it by hand and crush it up. That's when you know you got a delicious pork butt. Wow. So that's nice. You can make great shredded pork with that. Yeah. That's gonna be good. Okay. Then let's do the brisket. So you can cut this part off. That fat, that's the fattier part of the brisket. Look at that. That looks good. Look at that. Look at all those juices. Now notice the grain runs along that way. So actually like getting a nice piece of the fatty one right here. Something like that. Wow. Get at some of the juices. Look. Oh wow. That is so good.